leather gloves, we're slapping in hams. Popcorn and peanuts, we're working the stands. Pink cotton candy, love on a stick. He's chasing the beer, the trick of the lips. Play ball, play ball. Roll up the bases and smack it right over the wall.
Play ball.
Play ball. Take off the caps.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Laughter Saves Live here at Paradise Studios, Strong Island Television in beautiful Massapequa, New York, by the train station near the pizzeria. We are here today with two guest hosts. My guys have bailed on me. Frankie's taking an acting class tonight. Pat is doing something. Steve is home, and John Santo is crying because he's back from Florida, where I took him away from his Metsies. But we have the lovely and beautiful Tara Brown on.
Hello.
I know Tara for a few years. Tara was on my original radio show in my basement with Santo and Tara, and I've been wanting to have her on for months and months and months. And every time I call her, she goes, and she hangs up. She's like,
exactly
"Oh, it's John. Oh, it's John."
Exactly
You know when it's one ring and right? What you do to me? It's one ring and it's like,
button.
oh, they hung up on me. They saved me. And
It's
we
like
have Rich.
SLL, like SLL.
That's it. That's it. And we have the wonderful and handsome Rich Walker back,
Oh,
a comedy legend in Long Island. Everybody who's anybody in Long Island knows Rich Walker.
This is true.
Because he's taught the comedy classes, he's been in the comedy clubs, and Rich has been around for a long time. What?
24 years.
Is it 24 years? Because I've been doing comedy a little longer than that, I think.
Right.
But I stopped. I stopped after 9/11, and I stopped the previous time for family
Yeah, but
issues.
you never left that long. You were.
No, but you were one of the first ones to put me back up the first time I left.
Brokerage.
It wasn't the brokerage. It was some little dive place in Freeport. You sent me over there. You said they weren't even doing comedy that night. You just sent me there, and I stood there, and there was a mic, and I started doing stand-up, and they said, "Sir, we're not doing a show." I said, "Rich Walker sent me," and then they went,
"Do you have a
they went like
poem
this.
or something?"
Oh, Rich set somebody else up.
It's so. I don't even remember that.
Yeah, it was a place in Freeport. You were on the show, obviously. Can't remember who else.
But I used to do my show at Brokerage all the time because I remember.
No, you used to put me on your show, and I
remember I had
appreciated
the flyers, like the playbill with our names in it.
Right. The
Really?
old-
Every
Yeah.
weekend.
You know, and there are some old timers around still. I'll go, yeah, we're doing a show. We'll post it on the board at work.
Yeah.
We'll put the flyer up. That's the extent
Oh
of
my
the
gosh.
advertising. You're doing a fundraiser for them. They go,
Yeah.
we'll post it. I go, how about
It's
you
before.
get somebody that's a little more hip and younger with a computer and blast it out on Facebook and, all right.
I was going to ask you, was it before Facebook? Because that sounds kind of archaic.
No, some of the people still like that. Firehouse shows, they go, we'll put it on the board at the firehouse.
Actually, you know what? That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
and I know
In
what
the bathroom, there's one over the urinal.
That's not a bad place, though. In a restaurant, if you're doing a show.
Because you do read it.
You do read it in
do.
the urinal at the men's
I
room.
mean, I wouldn't know about that, but I would imagine you do.
In the ladies' room, too, by the mirror, right?
Right.
Yeah, true. That's
The ladies
good.
look in the mirror a
Yeah,
lot
this
more
is
than the
true.
guys.
This
Is
is
that
true. Put it
is
in a
that
corner.
chauvinist to say that?
No,
That the ladies look in the mirror more than the guys?
I think it's probably equal depending
I think
on.
it's equal.
Yeah,
Is
I think
it?
it's equal.
Men look
Absolutely.
at the mirror. Yeah.
Especially
Single
with the
men,
younger
maybe?
generation.
See, I'm going to tell
See,
you.
married guys don't look, right?
I'm
They
gonna-
don't
no,
care anymore.
Here's what I'm going to tell you, single men. We're doing a big show.
Yeah.
We're going to put that flyer at Malloy College with J.J. Boyd, Joe Starr, and Chris Roach are on the show. It's going to be a national fundraiser, internet fundraiser,
yeah.
and a local fundraiser.
Right.
So J.J. and I went to Malloy College the other day and did a promo.
Right.
Fun video, and a promo. And I looked at it the other day and I'm like, could I have combed my hair? I don't think my hair was like this. Talking, I got the jacket, I didn't shave. And I'm like, could I have looked in the mirror? So that's why I'm saying married guys not as much.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, speaking of which, you told me this was a radio show, so you're lucky I didn't come in pajamas and my hair and a huge bun. I walk in, I'm
know.
like, oh, it's a TV show.
No,
You have nothing to worry about here.
Well,
yeah, when you're sitting next to me, Everybody's
At
gonna
least you
look
have
at
nice hygiene.
who?
You. Right?
I do. You think?
Yeah.
Do you really think I have
You
nice?
don't have an odor this week. No, I'm kidding.
I don't have an odor. I don't have an odor. All right, that sounds like the compliment my daughter gave me on the beach.
You don't have an odor.
No, like, hey, John has good hygiene. Why? He doesn't have an odor. That's like, right? My daughter, I'm walking on the beach today with my daughter, and I take off my shirt, and she goes, "Hey, Dad, you're really not too flabby."
Yeah.
Was that a compliment?
That was a compliment.
I went, thanks, Olivia.
And then the woman on the other blanket says, "Yes, he is."
Yes, he is. We weren't even on the blanket. I was doing my steps, Rich.
Oh.
Doing my steps.
He cheats, by the way, on Fitbit.
I don't. You have to join our contest. Would
Okay.
you? 'Cause
Yeah, I
it's so
will.
much
I'm
fun.
going to tell you why.
That means I have to
'cause we were
start going back to
standing
the
here-
gym, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you don't have to. We're standing outside
Right.
the studio.
Right.
And John, we're having a talk. But you know how like the talking is going on for like a half hour? And he starts doing this.
That's
I'm
not
like,
cheating.
What?
No, I was
No,
picking up
it's
my
not
feet.
cheating.
I was walking in place. That is
All
not
right,
cheating.
All right.
And wait
If you
a
were
minute.
actually
Walk
lifting
in
up your
place
feet-
and then walk. Walking in place is even harder than walking. I'm telling you.
Why is that harder than walking?
It just seems
'Cause you're not
like it's
going
hard.
anywhere.
Maybe it's
It's
more.
very
Maybe it's
hard.
boring. Because when I'm in line in the supermarket, I'm not going to get into this thing. I walk in place. I'm there. I'm not doing anything. Multitask. I walk,
Right.
and that's how I get.
And
but
what are
these-
the people online behind you
Yeah.
thinking?
I usually turn around and go, listen, I'm in a step competition. I'm going to step and I don't care. I'm 61 tomorrow. I don't care what you think. I don't. I'm at the point in my life. And I wrote that down tonight talking about, I'm old enough to talk about bucket lists. How did I get this old? You know what I'm saying? Like, I visited my relatives in Florida in an assisted care facility, and I'm like, I could be in one of these shortly.
No.
But
I know what you
hey,
mean.
I'm 60.
Closer than.
When I was 40, you wouldn't think that way. So now I'm thinking, I want to do some things on my bucket list. I said to my wife today, I want to go back to Utah. I want to go up in the mountains. I want to go up in the mountains. I didn't go up, but I want to do stuff.
You ever do
What-
Colorado? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
taught in Colorado.
I was gonna say, what's number one on your bucket list?
Number one on my bucket list would probably be something like, I don't want to do anything in the air. I don't want to be jumping out of anything, bungee jumping. I don't want to do that. Going down to the Colorado in a raft.
Okay.
I think I would like to do that. Would you like to do that?
Rapid.
I'm a little nervous as I'm getting older. I don't. I
Yeah,
can do all
I'm a little
that
nervous
stuff,
about
but-
it too, but I want to do it. You jumped out of a plane.
Yeah, I did.
I remember on
Yep.
Facebook.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God.
That was fun.
was
As
awesome.
soon as I landed, I want to go back up.
Yeah, no,
Really?
I would understand why that
I'm
would
worried
be.
about the landing. Like I'll break an ankle.
Well, George Bush did it at 80.
Oh, I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
But did he actually land himself, or was he strapped to a guy?
He was
Were
was
you
strapped,
to a guy?
Yeah, so you have to be for the first few that you do.
Oh, first few
And
times?
this was a actually a fundraiser, so I've never done it before. That's a good way to get you up there because
So
you do it for
scary.
something
See,
else,
one
and then
out
you
of
feel like you
1,000
can't give it
doesn't
up.
open.
But
Yeah.
well, I'm lucky. You
One
know,
out of
that it
1,000
happened.
doesn't open? Where did you made that up?
Yeah, that's a weird.
You just
yeah,
made that up.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
Be honest.
1 out of 1,000.
That's what you hear from the voices in my head.
I can't win a lottery
He's like,
ticket.
"Wait, it must be
I
Dave."
can't even win a scratch off, but I'll win that one.
I haven't won much, but yeah, good for you.
Yeah, that
I
was
was
great.
I was very proud of you that
Thanks.
day. I'm like, look at her. I can't ask how old you are. Can't,
Yeah, you
right?
can. I'm
How old?
45.
You look great.
Thanks.
You look great.
I just recently got bangs, made myself look a
I
little
know.
younger.
I know you did. Well, you changed from the blonde to the brunette,
I
right?
did. I went from blonde to
Yeah.
very brunette, then black. It's almost black.
Yeah, it's
At
almost black.
sometimes.
So that's the deal. So yeah, we went to Florida to Met spring training, and you're not a big baseball fan.
No, I honestly wouldn't know one sports celebrity if it wasn't for Dancing with the Stars.
Hold on one second.
have to
Laughter
tell you
Saves
about
Lives
that.
live. Who's on the phone?
This is George Bush. I'm watching from heaven. I saw you talking about me with the parachute.
Which George Bush? Because one of them is not in heaven.
This is George H.W. Bush.
Okay.
Senior.
I think it's somebody
Saves
doing a bad
Lives
impression
Live.
of George H.W. Bush.
I love Laughter Saves Lives Live. Great
I
show.
think it's great.
Oh, thank you.
That may really be him. It's yes and.
It's me.
Improv. Yes and.
Yeah. I don't think.
Yeah. You know,
Skydiving, a lot
George.
of fun. A lot of fun.
Maybe. So George, were you at Met spring training this year?
I was in spirit, yeah.
Just in spirit. Well, do you have anything else to add? Because this is tanking.
No, I just wanted to say hello. Big fan of the show, and I recommend skydiving to everybody. And have a good show.
Well, thank you, George H.W. Bush. Is that right?
Yeah.
H.W. No,
How do you
can't
not
be
know
both.
his name?
How do we even get him on the show?
I think it's an honor. that
Thank you,
would even
George.
Pull in a president of the United
You're
States.
welcome. You're welcome.
Come back again. That was George Bush, the original George Bush.
And what a gracious host you are.
John Salerno, you could call in now. I think the problem was
Maybe
Bobby,
that
he
was
couldn't.
him.
Our caller couldn't get through. Is it because somebody else was on the phone?
Oh.
Try again, John. John Salerno. He just texted me. Try again. So I was saying, when you go down to spring training before the game start, the players are working out like they're down the park. So you're able to talk to them.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And you shouldn't talk to them too much. They're working.
Right.
Don't ask him for autographs. They're working, right? But I got introduced to the Mets batting coach through a friend. And I got his cell phone number and I was texting back. And he goes, come on down to the field tomorrow. Call me. Hey, Chili Davis. John Larochia came over. He goes, introduced him to everybody. So I said, Chili, can I interview you for Laughter Saves Lives TV?
Yeah.
He said, sure. I said, here's what I'm going to ask you. Now, he's the batting coach.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, who is the worst hitter on the Mets?
Did you answer it?
I said, can I ask you that question, Chili? He said, let's do it.
Really?
So I said, John Larochia from Laughter Saves Lives Television. Took us a while, but we finally set up with Chili Davis. He was gracious enough to come down. Chili, let me ask you a question. Who is the worst hitter on the Mets? And he looks at me with that, and he goes, that's why we hired you today. Perfect answer. I said, thank you, Chili. Very good. He was a great sport.
That's great.
My son was talking to Alonzo. We had fun. We had a good time. So we're waiting for John Salerno from Texas to call in. John is retired NYPD. He's done a lot out in Texas for post-traumatic stress, for different military charities, police charities. So I'm hoping he gives it into the shop because he said he was having trouble getting through.
So in the meantime, you were saying you wouldn't know anybody, like sports-related celebrity.
He would.
So my family, we follow the Islanders. My family they have season tickets, which I keep looking. They're losing. The Rangers are winning too.
They're playing the Rangers tonight?
Yeah, the Rangers are winning 2-0 right
Where
now.
are they
Where are they playing?
Coliseum.
Oh.
So, but with that being said, so we follow the Islanders, and I'm at my friend's restaurant, Garden Social, and he starts talking to me. Oh, I think you're gonna call, but
Yeah.
okay. So
Let me just tell the whole.
Okay.
Can you finish your story?
So
John, is that you?
This is me.
Could you just hold on 2 seconds? Let Tara finish your thought.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, brother.
So my friend starts talking me up all of a sudden to this guy, tall, really good-looking young guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, she's a great, huge Islander fan, our whole fan." And I'm looking at him, I'm like, "Dude, like, why? What are you saying?" And he was saying I had season tickets, which I don't. My parents did. And then he looks at me, and he's like, "That's so and so from the Islanders. You didn't recognize him?" Like right in front. I'm like, "Oh my God!" So I just said, "I go, well, you're in a helmet, so how would I ever really know your face?" And I was like. And he goes, yeah, that's the one good thing about being a hockey player is you don't get that celebrity status.
Are you a big Islander fan?
If I could go to every home game, I absolutely would.
All right, so let me ask you this.
So-
His name was so-and-so, or you just don't know his name?
His name is so-and-so.
Oh, you know his name. Well, you can say his name.
Tavares?
No.
You can
Oh my
say
God,
his name.
Tavares?
Tavares.
That's like don't even bring that word around.
But why can't you say
'Cause
his
he
name?
went to
It's not like he
Toronto.
was.
He was a what?
He went to Toronto.
Oh, but he was
Tavares.
like a big shot on the team, I remember.
That's an unholy word amongst Islander fans.
Is it really?
Yeah.
But why can't you say the guy's name? What do you forget?
No, I'm just going good.
All right, it wasn't like he was naked or something where he did something embarrassing where you can't say his
No,
name.
I don't want to say nothing. We're
All
good.
right.
We're good.
John Salerno, thank you for calling in, brother.
Hey, you got it, brother. What's going on, man?
Nothing. We're having some fun here with Tara and Rich, and I was telling them a
guys.
little about you. What are you came down with us to Florida. We had so much fun. It was like being back in a firehouse, the police station, breaking each other's chops. Tell me some of the highlights that you had with the trip that you're going to take with you. Nothing.
Crabs? No.
And you can make fun of
I really
Santo
got
if you
nothing out of
want.
the trip. I got nothing out of the trip. I had to sleep on a couch. I had to, take my own Uber. So it was a highlight of my day.
What's so funny is he had to leave.
No, it was a great time. What you guys did and for the charities, for Survive First, Blue Alert, for the Fire Department Benevolent Association was wonderful. I think we had a great time. We made a big impact on those people. You know, laughter truly does save lives, and you continue to do that, which is amazing.
Yeah, and, you know, we made some new contacts. We're going to go back down to do it bigger and better. But meeting those people from Survive First, what wonderful people. The gentleman who runs it, what was he? He was a cop, John, that tried to commit suicide?
No, yeah, that's Douglas and Karen.
Mondo.
Run the foundation. Yeah, Douglas and Karen run the foundation.
Husband and wife.
Douglas is I don't know how much I can give away, but I know he did a lot of stuff in the military, Black Ops, and
cool
then
guy.
he went to ATF. He took a couple of rounds. He got shot up a little bit, and he had some difficulties getting through that. He had 2 bouts with suicide, and he decided that, you know, what he can bring to others to save lives saved his life.
Right. And they were great. And Karen, wasn't she also a police officer, a firefighter?
She didn't say that to me. I don't know. She may have been. But,
right.
You know, she actually, you know, when we talk about family PTSD, she's actually feeling the effects of his PTSD that she had to go through.
Yeah,
you know, that's a tough thing for a family to go through.
Yeah, and Blue Alert, a cool organization that deals with alerting if a police officer is shot, if they have a description of the car or the police officer, an alert goes out. It's in 48 states now. Tom, right?
It's in all states. It went national.
Okay,
it's in every state now.
That's what I said.
What Blue Alert is, it's just like an Amber Alert, and you'll be notified. You don't have to sign up for anything. It automatically goes onto your cell phone. All carriers have it. You'll be told about the Blue Alert, that if there's an officer shot, injured, killed in the line of duty, they transmit that alert right over your phone, and it's been successful in so far 3 captures. In Oklahoma, Texas, and I think 1 in California. The first one was done in California with the Christmas Day shooting.
Awesome. And what did you think of the outfit of that MC on Saturday night?
The what?
The my son MCing on Saturday night. What did you think of that outfit he wore?
Well, you know, his outfit was very fluorescent.
Yes.
So he fit right in, but you know, for what he did that night, I mean, he rode his set on the way to the show.
And it showed.
He did amazing. He really did amazing. Had a great stage presence. His timing and his cadence was excellent. I think he did better than me.
You know what was really cool? And you guys sent me the video. That's the first time doing a comedy set that my son ever brought me onto stage.
Yeah. I gotta send you the video. That's
Don't delete that video.
An excellent job, man.
Don't delete that.
I don't know where he gets his talent from.
Yeah, thanks.
Probably his mother.
Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it. So we had free breakfast. That is big with comics.
Quick,
you don't have to pay comics if you tell them you're going to get a free breakfast. Am I right?
That's so true.
How much you paying me?
Yeah, the free breakfast was awesome.
What's that?
The breakfast was good. The breakfast was good, and the Jimmy John sandwich that I ate. So I ate like 4 times that whole weekend.
And my son and Steve and Santo, they lost money on them with that breakfast for sure.
Santa likes to eat gigs. Yeah.
He likes to eat, man. So does Steve. Steve liked to eat too, man.
Yeah.
I just think it was a great show. You really put together a great lineup. Steve was amazing. Santos killed every night. You did okay.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
No,
all right, my brother. I appreciate
you
your
really
time.
made a big impact.
It was
real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, Rich.
Yeah.
Rich. Hey, my brother-in-law, Tom Young, says hello.
Oh, Tom? I went to school with?
Can we do this by text message? I mean, we can have a conversation now.
Tell him I said hi back.
All right, brother. I will.
All right, good.
All right.
Love you,
John. Hey, happy birthday.
Thank you.
And keep doing what you're doing. Keep making a difference.
You too.
Wonderful organization, man. Wonderful foundation. Thanks for letting me be a part of it.
Absolutely. It was great having you, my brother.
Thanks, man. I'll talk to you later.
You got it. You got it. What a great guy.
Take care.
And like you said, he's doing so much for veterans out there, and he has 2 TV or shows like this himself. One with bikers and one with the other one is just him and a co-host. Great work. Great guy.
I'd like to connect with him because I do volunteer stuff with veterans at my job.
I know you do. And I want to do a little bit of an interview with you. We got a few minutes.
It's okay.
Your background. Let's start with what you do now.
Okay, so I do emergency preparedness for hospitals. So I do like surge plane, I do active shooter training, I do.
And I teach with a lot of guys who teach stuff like that.
Okay.
I teach a public safety sampling course. But today, what are you guys doing for the coronavirus right now? Can you say what your plans are?
It's really just more of screening as soon as we're right at the front door, so our security is instructed, and they do ask before they even get past the security booth, right at the door, have you traveled? What are your symptoms? You know,
Do you have
and
coronavirus? Why don't they just ask them?
a lot of
Maybe somebody would say I did.
Yeah.
But I mean.
So it starts there, and then it's a matter of instant notification to the ER, and then masking the patient and then themselves, and then bringing them to isolation.
Okay, now how about the plan where somebody does get past them for whatever reason? Do you guys have a plan in place? Somebody's in the ER and they've been there all night, and all of a sudden you realize,
Right. Yeah. Then it's then we have to put in we have to backtrack a little bit. Immediately isolate them, and then after that we have to see who came in contact with that patient.
Yes.
What
do you
patients
still,
were
do you
around
call
the other
it
patient.
the ring? Are we in the fire department? What was it that we were going around getting shots for years ago? And they basically said that if somebody got it, immediately they would put a ring. Your family members, blah blah blah.
Right,
would get the what was it, the antidote or whatever at the time.
Right.
Yeah, it's a scary time for some people, and I understand. Even on the plane, I'm surprised.
Right.
Everybody's wearing a mask. A mask is not going to keep you from getting the coronavirus.
What's it do?
It's going to keep you from touching your face, but unless you have a really good mask, it's not going to keep it out.
So like healthcare workers wear a different type of mask.
Yes.
But we give the patient it almost looks like a blue surgical mask.
That's all it is. Yeah.
But at least it keeps a little bit it's airborne,
right.
so it keeps that together.
But they say that you really need a really good mask with a filter and a really thick, tight-fitting mask.
Goggles.
Yeah. But on the plane, I
gas.
think one person on that plane had it on. Just had a mask on.
Really?
What I did was I cleaned the whole seat with the wipes.
So my brother asked me the same thing. He travels a lot for work, and when this first came out over in China, he was saying, do I have to wear a mask? And I'm like, well, are you going to China, or because it was still so localized there?
It can't hurt.
But I wasn't that crazy about it. But again, now you don't know whose family was traveling, and maybe they don't have the symptoms yet, because now you could be contagious when you don't have the symptoms right away. So that's
and from
the
what
other
somebody
thing too.
told me in China, you have to pay. The ambulance comes to the house, you have to pay. You go to the doctor, you got to pay right there.
Okay.
And part of that problem is that people avoid, they don't have the money. So that might have been one of the reasons why it spread so much, because people didn't have the money, they want to spend the money, they thought it was just, Anyway.
Let me ask you, can you get it, if you get a package from China, through Amazon?
Think so.
So can I
don't think so.
What?
That's not the
don't think
first
so.
time. I'm just laughing because people.
How do you know if it's
but
not
people-
something moist in that box?
I don't think so.
I'm only laughing because people
I'm not
are
feeling so
seriously
good now.
saying.
What?
I'm sorry. People are seriously saying like I saw a thing coming across still support your local Chinese food places and this, and I'm like, are people really not eating
Yes.
that? Because so I laughed at the question because it's actually not. People are thinking that way. I know you're trying to make a joke, but people are thinking that way. Like, I don't know
Definitely.
if I
Now
want to
you
order.
just
I
made
don't
me
want to.
think that way. And I eat Chinese food a lot.
I don't eat
What if
Chinese
you're in the
food
mall and they
at all.
come around with the pieces of chicken with the
Well, that's
toothpick?
free. That's free.
So
That's
that's
different.
clean.
I don't know if it's clean, but it's free. So you got to take that.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my
but you
God.
used to be you said an EMT or
Right, a critical care EMT in a fire department.
volunteer?
Yes.
Never paid?
No, until I went into the hospital and I worked as what they call ER techs, but you have to have your EMT certification or be a medic, and you can work in the ER as a tech.
Well, thank you for doing that.
It's like
Because-
Rampart, remember? Rampart on...
Yeah,
Emergency
1-800. What was it? 1-800 Rampart? No,
No, it was the TV show.
TV show, but it used to say something before.
Emergency.
Emergency, something. Yeah, I remember it. You don't remember it. You're too young. How old are you? You're not that much older than her. If you are, no.
I'm
You're not 50 yet, are
early
you?
50s.
Oh, you really? You look great.
Thank
You
you.
look great.
I know, but
Hey, Bob, can we throw up a few flyers? Just talk about some future shows.
oh, look at that.
All right, so this show is on March 27th. Everything Special Needs.
Who is that?
This is a small charity that I met a few years ago. The first show, we didn't have that many people. We're dealing now with an Elks Lodge is going to help us out and bring the people in the door. We got Jeff Cole, Ali Walker, John Kitzoli, and myself. That's going to be a fun show for a great cause, special needs children. April 11th is a big fundraiser I'm talking about. We're going to film the show at Malloy College on April 11th. It's going to be a local fundraiser for a number of organizations from Long Island responders. Any organization you want to be involved with this, let me know.
Okay.
So that's April 11th. You can show that next flyer. There we go. And then the last flyer is the April 24th. That is are you on that show?
I don't know. I
And your
see my
face is on that
picture.
show. Yeah, you're on that show. I don't know where that show is off the top of my head. I can't read it.
Who else is on that? Maureen Langen.
Maureen Langen. We have
You.
Pat, you, and me. You better check your calendar. April 24th.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh,
those are our
that's going
shows
to be
coming
a
up.
show. That's a show.
March 27th. That is the original show we showed you. Yep, that's good. April 11th, and then we have the April 24th
And where
show.
is the
that
April
We don't know
24th?
where it is right now because we can't read it. It's too small.
Okay.
I'm trying
That's
to
a
remember.
show to see.
Well, you're on it. You're on it. Rich is very funny. Very funny. So, Bobby, why don't we cut to our commercials, and then we should have our caller calling in from Utah.
Parents, please listen. This is a LifeVac. It's easy to use and can save a life in an airway emergency. LifeVac is proven to save lives, and it's as simple as place, push, pull. I've had one in my kitchen and one in my car for years, and you should have one in yours. Choking is a leading cause of death. 5,000 people a year die from choking, one child every 5 days, and it can happen in just 4 minutes. There's no time to wait. If you have children in your home, please consider your LifeVac today.
Jack, put your phone away. We're having dinner.
Hey guys,
Hi, how you doing?
what can I get you?
You guys want appetizers?
For some reason, I just got a craving for smoked meat.
Will you order something already? The menu hasn't changed. You looked at it 3 times.
I don't know what I want yet.
I wanted chicken, but I think it's blackened, so I'll just have a burger.
How'd you like that cooked?
Medium.
Do you have any specials?
Specials? Boss, what are specials?
What's the matter? You don't know the specials?
Look at this smoke.
What smoke?
We gotta get these dumps clean.
Nah, they're fine.
You know what? We're just gonna take our order to go, okay?
In business since 2003, MCN Duct Cleaning is the result of many years of research and continuing education, realizing the need to provide a safer and cleaner environment for families on Long Island. MCN services both residential and commercial properties by cleaning dryer vents, fireplaces, HVAC systems, and so much more. This not only improves air quality, but it could also reduce your energy bills by making things run more efficiently. So, if you want to make your house or business safer and cut down on your bills in the process, give our friend Matt over at MCN a call now.
Is that steak well done?
Maybe call a little bit sooner than these guys did.
And we're back, Laughter Saves Lives live. Paradise Studios, Strong Island TV, with the lovely Tara Brown and Rich Walker. Oh, we've been going through a number of things here. So anything else you want to talk about your background that we didn't cover?
No.
You're doing some improv. You want to talk about that at all? A little acting and...
Yeah, I'm doing some acting here and there. You know, my full-time job gets in the way.
Yeah.
But, you know, and improv is, we do it with a small group. We don't have any shows from here on out. I'm actually going for surgery in a month.
Who's going?
So I am.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be out for about 2 months. So
All
after
right.
that, we'll have some more stuff
Okay.
to announce.
Right.
But we'll do that for fundraisers and stuff. But I just wanted to go back to what John was saying. I think that's really important that he mentioned his wife. Not his wife, but Kat, that woman.
Yes.
You know, her her dealing with PTSD. That's something that I've been trying to raise awareness with, where it definitely is with the person who served, whether they're a police officer, fireman, or veteran. But the families too they also feel and they deal with it differently. So I've been trying to get the awareness out about that.
That's great. Do you deal with a certain organization or?
No, so I'm looking to start one. So I may be talking to you later.
Yeah.
But,
let's do something.
Yeah,
Sure.
and but at Northwell we do have a big veteran support. They hire, they offer them services. But I do lead a a business employee resource group, which is a volunteer group made up of all employees to support veterans and get.
Do they have a foundation at the hospital?
For that specifically?
A lot of hospitals have foundations.
We have. So we have an actual department that's actually called foundations. Sorry.
Did you hear what he said?
No, I didn't.
That was a gem. He said, "Sure, what's holding up the wall?"
Oh yeah.
Foundation. I like that. It's very good.
Well, I had to add some
called-
levity to this serious conversation.
Yes.
No, I was gonna say we actually have a department that's called foundations because they deal with a lot of different
I'm saying,
organizations.
can't we work? We tried to do a show once. Let's revisit. Can we revisit that? All right.
Yes.
Someone's calling in. They want to talk about the foundation.
Hold on one second, caller.
Speaking of walls, I feel like I'm in an igloo.
You don't
like
you
I feel
love
like we're an
this?
ice
I love
bar.
this
Like
place.
I need vodka. You got vodka?
I was going to say something else and I forgot.
Sorry.
My
She was talking about
parents.
the wall.
No, there was something else I was going to say when she was saying that. Hello, caller. Who's there?
Hey, what's going on, John? It's Paul.
Paul, I'm glad you're there because I was expecting you. So here we are. Paul, are you? Do you have anybody with you?
Yeah, so I've got Holly with me and another guy, Greg, who is also a radiation guy. So.
Oh, all right. Well, tell Greg you and Holly are the only two that were guests. You're the only two getting paid. Greg Greg can't earn a dime from this interview.
Greg, you're not getting paid.
Is Greg the one that knows everything, and you two brought him on because you were afraid you wouldn't know enough information?
I cannot confirm nor deny any of that.
Well, I was out in Utah a few weeks ago, outside of Salt Lake City. Where were we again? What was the name of the town?
You were in Sandy.
Sandy. Driving down the main street with the snow-capped mountains to either side, it was some of the nicest scenery I have ever seen in my life. And I'm definitely going back, like I was telling them before, because I want to get up in those mountains a little bit. We taught a class out there, that public safety sampling class for Homeland Security. I was one of the instructors. Yeah. Very smart I am. Very smart. You wouldn't think so.
Wow.
You wouldn't think so.
That explains why I feel so safe.
Paul, tell him. How smart was I, Paul? Tell him.
I can't even begin to stress the importance of how smart you are.
I just want to touch.
Good answer. Good answer.
It was like
rub off on me some of the smartness.
And Holly, how are you doing, Holly?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. It's good to talk to you again. You guys were awesome.
Well, you were definitely our favorite instructor.
Oh, all right. I'm going to tell the other instructors that because they think I'm just a big idiot. They sent me for coffee is what I'm out there for, really. So you guys are firefighters, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is Greg a firefighter?
Yeah.
All right. So you guys are firefighters out in Utah there. You're in the hazardous materials section of the department also, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
And you guys, how did you get hooked up with going over to Chernobyl? What was your thinking?
Yeah.
What was our thinking?
Yes. What was your logic? Was it a you lost a drinking bet or what was it?
I just wanted one of the radioactive dogs, honestly, but they wouldn't let me bring one back.
No.
No.
All right. So tell us,
No.
Chernobyl, as most people know, the average because we want to try to talk to the average person, not the hazmat guy. It was one of the largest radiation accidents if not the worst. And there's still radioactivity, depending on the kind. Its half-life can be years and years and years before it gets half the strength
like 100
of
years.
what it was. So how bad is it over in Chernobyl right now? What kind of exposures are you dealing with? Let's start with above background.
Like our condos coming in now.
Okay.
It's a new Williamsburg.
I would say that they're probably holding off on the condos for a little while.
A little bit.
As far as above background, you're significantly above background in different areas. Typically, background, depending on where, like 10 micro R per hour.
Yeah, but don't talk micro REM or REM, because the average person won't understand that. What I'm saying to you is, if I'm standing outside of the accident, let's just say 1,000 feet.
It's very bad.
Just ballpark it. Is it
good or
1,000 times background, 10,000 times?
I don't even know what background is.
What you would normally get on a normal day, right here.
Oh.
So is
Get a good tan.
How many things?
Yeah, it's not enough. You're not getting a good tan out of it.
Say it again. How much above background?
It's probably in most areas between 5 and 10 times the normal background.
Oh, I would think it would be much more than that. No.
Well, when you get closer to the plant,
right,
and the reactor,
right,
and it's significantly. I mean, you're probably a couple hundred times background.
Okay. Wow. Now you guys went in the plant.
What?
Correct.
So
yeah, we were underneath the object shelter, which is the original shelter that they put over the top of it to contain all the radioactive dust particles and everything.
Right. Wow.
Right.
And that new pretty arch that they put over it, we went underneath that. So.
What, but Holly, why? Now, you had to sign a waiver, right, Holly?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I had to sign a waiver saying that I was of reproductive age as a woman, and I knew the risks to going into it. So if I have babies with like 3 eyes and 6 legs, then
and
I can't
ironically,
do
her teeth are falling out now. Ugh.
And that was even with wearing a suit, or they didn't, like, what was the deal?
Well,
What did they give you beforehand?
What did you wear just to protect yourself against the dust? Just like a level C suit, like just like a covering, Tyvek?
So basically, they gave us like a jacket that was just pretty much a jacket that we wore everywhere, more for identification purpose.
Right.
And then we wore like some booties and a dust mask, and that was the majority of the time.
And a hard hat.
And a hard hat. When we went into the object shelter, then they put you in clean clothes, like you're dressed out in white, and it's still pretty much just a dust mask, but they try to leave all that stuff kind of back behind. So
if you've seen the HBO series, the way they were dressed in that series in all white, that's how we had to dress.
Okay, so to the average person, Holly, to the average person again, that's protecting you against alpha and beta radiation, but gamma is going to go through all of that. So you guys went into this, and the background, you're saying at its highest was only, you would estimate 10 to 20 times background? I would think it'd be much higher.
Well, it just depends on where you're at in the plant. I mean, we had readings that we were getting that when we would go in different areas through the exclusion zone, we had readings that we were getting that were significantly higher. Some of them were the type of readings that you don't want to just hang out for a long period of time.
So when we were right up against the outside of the sarcophagus, I would say we were at about 2,000 background.
You know, my favorite word is tarmac, but sarcophagus may replace it. Sarcophagus.
Can I ask a question? Is this a tour you go on?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
You went over there for learning purposes, right?
Correct.
What did you learn?
So they do offer tours and stuff over there.
You're kidding.
However, we went over specifically for a training that was related to basically environmental health and safety was more or less kind of the course of action that we were learning over there.
Well, it sounds very interesting.
Technicians and radiation specialists. So
it just sounds so odd to me.
Kind of what we study the most, and so our tour, I guess you could call it, was more geared towards actually learning safe techniques for decontamination and the clean zone, dirty zone kind of a thing. So.
Well, I'm not. I don't mean to sound, but you can practice decontamination in my backyard.
Right.
I don't want to go over and stand in the middle of Chernobyl. I mean.
This is like teaching you that drowning is bad and teaching you it underwater.
Right.
Yeah.
So you guys weren't afraid. Did you? Obviously, you wore a dosimeter, which tells you how much radiation you took in. Correct.
Correct.
So tell me the numbers that you guys had, and then we'll explain those numbers.
It was so it's actually pretty incredible how small of a dose you take in. We were all right about 3 MR, which would be about a couple hundred times just normal background, which is like
a day it's splish splash.
Nothing in comparison to what our real dose would be. So in working in radiation and hazardous materials, exposure over the time of a year, and it wasn't enough that it was notable as far as
But that comes with staying away from the contamination as much as we can, like limiting our exposure to it. If we would have just hung out in front of the object shelter, I think we would have got a lot higher.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and they limited our time when we were in there. We were only allowed about 15, 20 minutes total inside the safe confinement, which, at that level of radioactivity was plenty. It was plenty of time.
I'm gonna ballpark here and just say I know a background, a normal type background could be 100 microrem. So 10 times that is 1,000. 100 times that would be a millirem. So you were probably a few hundred, 300, 200 times above background. That's just a rough ballpark. Would that make sense?
Yeah, and that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
So there were areas that we went, like Holly had said, there were areas where we were into the thousands of times what normal background would be as well. But a lot of it is when we went over, they were very aware of our time in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very limited, so that we were really
I have a
pretty
question.
well protected.
Yeah,
they kept us safe.
No, go. I'm saying I have after you.
I hear that there's actually wildlife in Chernobyl. Is that right? Or is there nothing living?
Yeah.
Like deer and stuff.
There's so a friend of ours runs the Dogs of Chernobyl program, where they actually are adopting out the dogs that are in the exclusion zone.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have hundreds of dogs that are still over there, cats that are over there. They have wolves. There's been recent accounts of bison that have been seen over there.
Wow.
So the wildlife's kind of making its way back in.
But they're not contaminated?
Well, they would be a little bit.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
So
In the vegetation, right? In the water?
So they are. I know in talking to this friend of ours, anytime that they send a dog over, they have to quarantine the dog for X amount of time. I think it's like 21 days, and that just allows them to shed one of the isotopes that gets kind of hung up in their fur. It allows that to kind of shed that off.
Right.
So, so as far as that, I mean, they are contaminated, but as far as it being an issue, I interacted with the dogs quite a bit. Holly, I know, interacted with the dogs quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And we were checked on a daily basis as far as anything that we would be taking back out of the zone.
Right.
And we never had anything come up.
And you deconned yourself when you left the zone.
Yeah.
I would assume you stripped down naked and showered in the whole bit, right?
No, actually, it was just more changing clothes, and we left the clothing.
Naked would have been a bit more
interesting.
So it's not that bad.
So you said that you're talking about the hot zone, the cold zone. So, and I understand that as you're going towards it, you're going from cold to hot. But did they talk about response? And I mean, like, what kind of training? What was the purpose of your training when you went there?
So, a lot of the training revolved, like I stated, about environmental health and safety.
Right.
However, a lot of what they were trying to accomplish is the what if. What if we had something like this again? How would we react to it? What type of things have we learned from that particular event? I mean, the people in Ukraine, especially the ones at the plant, were they're fantastic people, super proud of what they do, and they are very good at what they're doing over there.
Hey, Paul,
but they also know that it was kind of handled in a way where maybe they could do better in the future.
Right.
So.
There's actually people that still work at the plant now?
Yes. So the town of Slavutic, which is about a 40-minute train ride.
Yeah, we knew that.
Goes down through Belarus.
Right.
And that town is basically, the population of that city is pretty much works at the plant.
And that's far enough away so their exposure is not that great above background.
Yeah, it's pretty much normal background there.
Oh, cool.
How far from the core does it start to disintegrate, the radiation?
Well, so...
Like, how big is Chernobyl? I don't even know. Like, compared to a state in the United States.
You mean the city of Chernobyl?
Oh, it's just
the
a
plant.
city?
Was Chernobyl just the plant name, or was that also the name of the town?
No, so the plant is actually not named Chernobyl at all. Chernobyl City is about a 25, 30-minute drive away from the plant itself. But as far as the size of it, what was the...
So the actual exclusion zone that was evacuated is about 1,000 square miles of land. And there was a lot more than just like Pripyat that was evacuated. There was hundreds of small villages and thousands of people that were evacuated that you really don't know about too much.
Yeah.
And still barren? Still vacant?
Stated it was about 200 cities and towns that were evacuated.
Wow.
Holly, are they still vacant? Nobody there?
Most of them are, yes.
Yeah, wow. Well, guys, I can't thank you enough for calling in. Really, really interesting. Greg spoke a little too much.
Do you? One question: Is your next trip to Aniston to go in the germ room?
Where are you going back? Are you going back to Chernobyl again?
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, we're so trying to get over in May, but we ran into some financial side of things as far as that. Basically, we're for sure going in September, but what we want to do is we want to start taking first responders and other people over.
Mm-hmm.
We've kind of got it set up with the fire department over there that we're going to do some kind of on-the-ground training with them to kind of learn some of the stuff that they've taken away from the experience. But what we want to do is we want to try and train people how to respond to that type of event maybe a little bit better.
I think maybe you guys should try like Bermuda. Hawaii.
Hey, we're trying to go to Fukushima next, but they won't let us.
Yeah, that's how bad is it? Fukushima. I was going to ask you about that. How does that compare to Chernobyl?
The size of the disaster. Yeah, which is bigger?
I would say Chernobyl is probably the largest event.
So. Yeah.
Fukushima, and it's not to downplay that, but it was, its meltdown was a very different scenario.
Right.
There wasn't an explosion. They didn't have as much ionizing radiation being released into the atmosphere.
Now, is that under control?
Fukushima damage has been done aquatically, so they're seeing trace amounts of cesium and iodine and some of these other things.
Fukushima is not fully under control. I saw a special on it recently, right? They're kind of snowing the people over a little bit over there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I think it would be interesting to go over there, but it's... right now, it's just not really in the cards.
Right.
So,
right.
We'll listen. Take some more Chernobyl time.
So anytime you want to go to Chernobyl with us, you let us know.
Yeah. Keep your phone handy, and I'll be calling you. Guys, thank you so much for calling in. Really appreciate it. Very, very interesting.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
You guys have a great night.
Be safe out there. Be safe.
Will do. You too.
Take care, Paul.
It's sad that they don't have any
All right,
friends
bye-bye.
anymore.
Oh.
Nobody wants to go near them.
Well, but it's not. It's seriously. It's not. You can't give it to somebody
You
else.
don't come home with it in your in your blood.
No. Now the dust particles, like they say, they get decon. Wash that off. But if they had exposure to high
What if
levels
you
of
breathe it
radiation,
in?
That's why they're wearing the masks,
dust. That's the worst. If you breathe in the alpha and beta particles, they bounce around inside of you and really screw you up. That's why if you're wearing a mask or an SCBA, a self-contained breathing apparatus, that's going to prevent you from getting exposed or contaminated to alpha and beta. But the gamma is still going to go right through you. 3 things protect you against gamma. Time. Right, if you watch the movie Time Chernobyl, they were running, doing things, shoveling things in and running. Time, spend less time. Like they were saying, these numbers they were giving us is per hour. So if they only spend 15 minutes, it's a quarter of that. Am I losing you already? I can see.
Yeah.
I'm losing you already.
Well, let me ask you a question. What is that? Like, I hear like the 5G network. You see it everywhere. How
I have no
dangerous
idea. That has nothing to do with this.
Yeah, it does, because it's gamma
I don't
rays
think
that
so.
you-
I don't think so. It's not gamma's not a race. Do we have a caller on the air? No. Oh, I thought I heard ringing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So in my experience with radiation, I'll tell you a quick, interesting story. Do you want to add anything else before I tell the story? I don't want to take time. You want to add anything else?
No, I want to hear.
I think it was the Republican National Convention was in Manhattan back in the day. I was working from 87 to 97, so sometime in that time frame. And the fire trucks all have radiation meters on the dashboard in Manhattan.
Right.
All over the city. They added this a number of years ago. They were driving past the post office a block away from Madison Square Garden, and the meter went whoop all the way up. All the way up as they drove past the post office. Here's what happened. They do x-rays in pipes with a little gamma source. And it comes out of the lead box, because that's the only thing that'll prevent the gamma from coming out, lead. That's why you can't wear a lead suit if you're going in. So time distance shielding. And it got stuck. We're getting readings. Everybody's out in the building, and like, what are we going to do? We ain't gonna do anything. I'm not going in there. Call the company. They called the company. They send the guy out on a plane. He gets off the plane, flip-flops, T-shirt, and shorts.
Oh, God.
Shows up at the scene. He goes, what's going on? We explain it to him. He goes, find me a broomstick. Fire trucks. Equipment all over the place. He runs in with the broomstick. He hits the thing, and he runs out and goes back in the box. Whoop! That's how he solved the problem. Guy, nothing. Well, he was like this. Other than that, but that time distance shielding for gamma radiation.
Right.
Shielding would be lead, or the fire truck filled with water. Time run in and out. Time distance. Stay away from it. That's how you protect yourself against gamma radiation. A good show. Tara, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
We loved having
Appreciate
you. Tara's awesome. Rich, again, thanks for filling in for the guys. We're gonna have to put you on the flyer and bounce one of them off, I think. What do you think?
I was on that flyer.
No, I'm talking about the show flyer.
Oh yeah.
They left it. Who we should bounce?
Not here anymore.
Who should we bounce?
I don't even know.
You want to back Patty Marone off it? No.
Is he
Steve
come
Oliva?
here? Is he
Comes, yeah. You want to back Frank Fayella off it?
Well, he comes.
We'll see.
Too.
We'll see. I'll tell them who.
You can always add. Don't have to take any of them off.
I wanted to see if you were going to be
You know,
a
I
team
was thinking
player.
that, you know, it'd be nice.
You want it right in the middle.
No, a starburst.
Okay.
You know when it says like
yes
raffles? Put my face.
Put you right in the middle with everybody else with smaller pictures around it.
Like a clock.
Right.
Right. And I could be like this.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Always
Guys,
thinking.
Always thinking. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Come to one of the shows. Laughter Saves Lives Live. Good night, everybody.
Popcorn and peanuts, we're working the stands. Pink cotton candy, love on a stick. Who's chasing the beer? The circle the lips, play ball. Play ball. Load up the bases and smack it right over the wall. Play ball. Play ball. Take off the caps. Time for the song.